How's it going, everyone? My name is Alpha Red Dragon, and today I'm starting a new series where I'm doing a tutorial series on Game Maker Studio 1.4. And the reason I've been gone for so long is because I have been busy with other things and I've not been sure what I wanted to do with this channel. And since our school requires us to do a big project, so we decided to do it on YouTube. So this channel is now going to be part of a giant project for school that I'm required to make to graduate. So I'm gonna put my effort into this and hope I can help out some of you in Game Maker. So as you can see by the title, this episode I'm going to show you how to make an enemy and then make the player shoot towards that enemy with the mouse. So as you guys can see, if I run the game right now, I have just a basic setup of just a player. I've set up movement and just a couple sprites up here and a couple objects. And if Game Maker decides that ever wants to load faster than like a snail, that'd be quite nice. So as you can see here, I just have a player that kind of moves around. That's really it. So this room is nothing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and make an object, obj underscore bullet. Make it over type. There we go. Obj underscore bullet. Give it the little bullet sprite I made. Just a tiny thing. All we need in this, it's actually quite simple, is we just drag some code into this. We do move towards point. You set and the points you want to set are either, if you're doing another thing, you can set whatever x and y coordinates you want, but in this case we want mouse x, so mouse underscore x, mouse underscore y, and then the speed, let's set that to 10 for now. We can play with this a bit later. There we go. So that part is basically done. Next, what we want to do is go and do our player object. Don't mind all this, this is just basic movement and collision code. So what we're going to do is if mouse underscore check underscore button underscore pressed mb underscore left for left mouse button. Go ahead and close that off. Then we're going to do instance create x y obj underscore bullet. So what this does is it just makes a bullet at our player's x and y location that'll move towards the it'll move towards whatever our mouse is at. And currently this doesn't have any cooldown or anything, so if I really wanted to, I could just spam this like crazy. So once this loads up, after this I'm going to show you how to actually add a bit of cooldown to your shot and add a couple enemies that'll just move towards you and you can kill them. So now if you see, we can shoot. And the problem with this is that if I, apologizing for this clicking, but if I do this, we just get like a really large amount of bullets that we don't want. So now we're going to go back into our, our player object. In the create event, we're going to add a variable for cooldown, which is already in here, but that's for a different thing. So we're just going to add shot underscore cooldown equals 0. Then in the step event, let's just go ahead and shooting. Don't mind my capitalization errors. Shot underscore cooldown minus equals 1. And the reason I'm putting this up here is so that it always subtracts the 1, so it's not always delayed by a tick. It's going to be basically on point with what you need it to be at. So shot cooldown minus equals 1. Then in this, we're going to add and, so it's going to check for the button being pressed, and then shot cooldown being less than or equal to 0. Then here, this is now going to check for that. Then we want it to make the bullet and update the shot cooldown. Let's go into shot underscore cooldown. Let's set that equal to like 30, for example. So if we set the room speed to 60, that should take half a second before you can actually shoot. Let's go back into here. Let's go ahead and update the room settings to be 60 FPS. And let's go ahead and build just a simple level here. The walls, just like add a couple walls here. There we go. Add that like that. Just throw in a couple more walls here. Then make some bigger walls, make some smaller walls. There we go. Just like that. This is just so we have something to maneuver around while we're shooting. And if we really wanted to, we can add to our things a collision event with our wall, and then on it we can do instance destroy. There we go. That way, whenever our bullets actually collide with the wall, they'll actually get destroyed instead of passing through it. And doing this is actually quite a simple way to set up a project if you've ever wanted to actually make a top-down shooter project but didn't know how to do it. The most difficult part in these projects really is setting up the AI for the enemies, but that's also not too difficult, and I can actually show you how to do that in a different project. Since we set our room speed to 60, our player is now considerably faster. So if you look, even if I'm spamming, it's not going to shoot more than I've actually set it to allow me to. There we go. Now we have a top-down shooter with walls that we can collide with. And let's go ahead and let's do create object obj underscore enemy. And let's give it the sprite for the wall, because I'm not going to make a different sprite right now. The only thing you really need in these guys' event, like to make the stupidest of like AI that'll just kind of work, but not too well, what you want to do is do move towards point obj underscore player dot x, which is going to move it towards our player x coordinate, and obj underscore player dot y, which is just going to move it to our player's y coordinate. Let's set this to 5 and close that off. Now these enemies will just constantly move to that, and you can actually go ahead and, if you want, you can make a create event, set up a health variable, but I'm not going to show you how to do that in this. I'm just going to do a collision event with the bullet, and then just do instance underscore destroy. There we go. And if you want, you can make it destroy all the bullets on the screen by just putting the instance destroy in that event. But I'm just going to go into the bullet, set up a collision with the enemy, and then just do instance destroy from here. That way it destroys both the bullet that hits it, and it will destroy the enemy that it hits. Let's go and just make a new enemy sprite, because we just want things to stand out a bit. Sprite enemy. Don't judge my spelling. Alright. New. Let's go ahead and make them, I don't know. Let's make them yellow. Actually, no. Let's not make them yellow. Let's make them this light blue color. The color palette in this game's all over the place, but who really cares, right? It's just a basic tutorial. Let's go into here. Let's make this a bit more pleasant to look at. Let's make the background, let's go with this like deep green color. Yeah, that seems nice. There we go. That's a lot more appealing. Alright, let's go ahead and go into... let's go to the player's object. And this is a cool way you can actually get enemies to spawn at random. You can do is if not instance exists. My X key does not want to work. If instance not instance exists, obj underscore enemy. There we go. Then we can do instance create j underscore enemy. Let's do XY. Okay, so let's do I random underscore range from 0 to room underscore width. There we go. Then let's go ahead and close this off. Then I random underscore range 0 to room height. Room HEIGHT. And then obj underscore enemy. There we go. This way, what it does is it checks if there is no enemies present in the room. It'll make an enemy at a random X coordinate in the room and a random Y coordinate in the room. And since we're running this from a player event, it should work just fine. So let's go ahead and go into it. Let's run this. And the reason you can, if you're gonna have the enemies collide with walls and everything, you're gonna want to set up You're going to want to set up a thing that just kind of checks whether there's a wall where it's spawning the enemy by just doing the things I did inside the create statement. You go ahead and do those outside and then check those X and Y coordinates for walls. So as you can see, the enemy is now chasing me, and if I shoot at him, it kills him. And it makes him at a different point in the room every time. There we go. And here you have the most basic of top-down shooters. Voila. And you can build on this however you want, because the movement code is just the simple check for buttons and things. And I'll actually have this project file uploaded in the description if you guys want to go ahead and download it and mess around with the settings on this one. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, because these will be a lot more common on this channel now, because instead of playing games, I've decided to start making them. So hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial, and if you did, be sure to leave a like, and I will see you all in the next one.